there is a lot of obsession around shadi, around weddings. And the goal of life kind of is made to be weddings.
Yes, not every child is meant for marriage. No. Lot of them are Vairagis. Lot of them, no matter how hard the parents will try, will not get married till the age of late 30s, even 40s these days. They will not get married. They may not have enough karma like that. And then there are a lot of such karmic things which usually are very visible when you take your birth chart to an astrologer. Okay? To a really, really good, educated kind of, learned kind of astrologer, serious person. And then you will start, many people, because they cannot find a good company, a good companionship, they miss that. So marriage is not just about, thinking of it as a project or something. A lot of people will crave, will cry at night for that companionship to happen.
Failure is not easily acceptable, and then as you grow up, that fear of failure grows up with you.
Look at it objectively rather than taking it all the way very personally. As if they control the sea. No matter how much prepared you are, even then you could die at the sea. You could die on the road. You could die while flying. You could die having food in your hostel. The flight that went into the medical hostel in India. Right? You could die anywhere. Forget about how much time or forget about the count. Okay? If I am giving you a Panchakshari mantra is where it has 5 syllables, 5 sounds. So, Om Namah Shivaya is Panchakshari mantra. So, if this is Panchakshari, Panch means 5, I want you to chant it just 5 times, okay? And I don't care how much time you take, but every time you chant it, it should be like a sniper shooting. A sniper people carry hardly 1 or 2 or 5 bullets. That is it. They know 1 bullet, 1 enemy. And every time they have to hit a target. Namaste. Jai Shiva. Pranam everyone. We are here again. And I have Yogini ji with me. Yogini ji, Smoothie Samadhi. Water. I have water.
Homemade smoothie today.
Homemade smoothie? Good. Smoothies should be homemade.
So, shall we start?
Yeah. Fire your questions.
I thought today they are fiery questions.
Oh
I'll
God.
tell you why.
Again, fiery question. Okay.
Today we are talking about conditioning. Basically mindsets that get developed.
I only
in
know
us
about
over-
hair conditioning.
We can talk about that also. Fine, very
No. Your mind conditioning is fine.
So yeah, about mental conditioning mainly, and how growing up in India there are a lot of mental conditioning that has happened. One of the biggest things I've seen is that there is a lot of obsession around shadi, around weddings, and the goal of life kind of is made to be weddings. Whether it is our movies or whether it is the elderlies giving advice or whatever, it is a lot about beta shadi अच्छे से हो जाए. So this puts like this does 2 things. There are people who don't want to get married. They are like either they are vairagis or they just don't want to, and so it makes it inconvenient for them. And then there is also the other side where people are okay. They are okay with getting married, but then there is that constant pressure. And in that pressure, sometimes they make the wrong choices or they make some wrong, adjustments. which becomes a problem for a lifetime. So, how would what would you have to say about this, and how does one, manage this?
Yeah. This is definitely a culture in India, especially, where every kid is expected to get married, period. And yes, a lot of social conditioning is done by parents, by relatives, by grandparents, that you have to, especially for the girls, that you have to go to that other house tomorrow. How will you do this? How will you adjust? So, in a way, it's good actually that they are trying to show you that some of the things that you are doing right now may be quite highly annoying to the other people, and you have to adjust at some level, okay? And you need to learn to those standards. And it's not just about, nobody tells the girls that tomorrow if you go to office, your boss will expect this or your manager will be like this, and then what will you do? So those kind of examples are not being given. Usually it's always about your in-laws house. How will you manage and adjust in your in-laws house? And then in some ways it is okay that you are being taught to compromise in some places. After all, we all have to live in the societies, right? You can't be my way, highway kind of a person. And same teachings that were given to you about compromise, about adjustment, about this, about that, you can apply them to your professional life as well. Because boss is none less than a mother-in-law. So you have to manage the manager, the boss that you have got, same expectations, same thing, same discipline you are being asked to maintain. And a lot of expectations are there, a lot of obligations are there, and a lot of misaligned expectation and unhappiness is going to be there. So in a way they are trying to show you the window in the future, how your life is going to be, which is okay, which is okay. But always and always pressurizing the children, especially when they are grown ups, when they are young adults or adults, at that time, pressurizing them all the time to get married is a wrong thing to do. Yes, not every child is meant for marriage. No. Lot of them are Vairagis. Lot of them, no matter how hard the parents will try, will not get married till the age of late 30s, even 40s these days. They will not get married. They may not have enough karma like that. So that is one aspect that we need to look at, that not everybody has a karma to deal with the other person on a transactional basis, on the everyday basis. So then, no matter how hard you try, there is no point you can get them married. Even if they want to get married, the marriage is not possible. It won't happen. And then there are a lot of such karmic things which usually are very visible when you take your birth chart to an astrologer. Okay? To a really, really good, educated kind of, learned kind of astrologer, serious person who is passionate about astronomy, astrology, and all these things. Those are the people, they will be able to tell you a lot about it. And but yes, thinking that every son or a daughter is a project that ends in marriage, that is a wrong thinking of parents, where they need to stop doing that, and they need to let that be the choice and decision of that young person. But many times I have seen this thing, that if a parent leaves the choice to the children, to their young adults, they love the freedom that they have, accountability less, responsibility less kind of freedom that they have. They love it right now, and they have all kinds of friends around them. Sooner or later those friends will get married. Okay, they'll be heavily busy in their life with their children and so on. You will be left alone. And then you will start, many people, because they cannot find a good company, a good companionship, they miss that. So marriage is not just about, you know thinking of it as a project or something, a lot of people will crave, will cry at night for that companionship to happen. So then they may go on to start doing all the wrong things that which they weren't supposed to do in the first place. So if somebody is a real Vairagi, forget about it. You cannot get them married. They will figure out a way. So this question is not for them at all. This question is only for those people who look like Vairagi right now, who may look like, oh, they are being very spiritual, very dharmatma. In the heart, within themselves, they're actually craving a company of like-minded person. They actually want to be in relationship with a like-minded person. That's it. That's what they are searching for. And that's a search that happens in everybody. Forget about it. Unless somebody is born Vairagi, they will be playing the drama of raga and raga and raga with this person or that person. So to an extent, it's okay that parents are doing that. But yes, heavily pressurizing somebody and then children taking, or the young adults taking wrong decisions about all these things, that is not good. Yeah, it needs to stop.
You know, in the Indian culture, failure is not very acceptable. Like, it is always, whether it is about your studies in school or whether it is once you get a job, don't leave the job. I've seen more in the Western countries that it's okay to take 1 year off and do your own thing and come back. But in India, in the society, it's like, oh hey, really you don't have a job or whatever. So basically, failure is not easily acceptable, and then as you grow up, that fear of failure grows up with you. Would you like to say something about that?
This happens only in the middle class. Around the world it happens. Because even when we say Indian middle class versus middle class people in other countries, Western countries, they are still going to be little better off than the Indian middle class. So it becomes a fight of survival, that you have to find a place. If you are fail in one thing, try again, try again, try again, try something else. You may fail in one thing, try doing something else, get into some other stuff. So that way, they are always and always pushing you very hard. So there is a bar set, right? And all the parents, they just want you to get above that bar. Now, fear of failure, developing a fear out of it. Not every children does that. They may fail 1,000 times, they may try 1,000 things. Yet the fear may not happen to them. So now here comes the individual chittavrittis that you have. Like I tell a story, right? That two men, they were sailing and their boat was rocked by the rough ocean waves. Boat was broken. Somehow, barely they could survive and they come back to shore. One of them decided, I am never going back again. I am never sailing again. In this rough ocean, in this thing, this is bad. I could have died. I could have been crippled. Or this could happen, that could happen. Fear developed in one person's mind. In another person's mind, it was like, okay, I shouldn't have gone. The weather was bad. I should have checked the weather. I should have these many life support items with me. I should have taken care of this aspect, this thing, that thing, every little neat detail. Why did this trip become a disaster? They will search out a solution for that. They will look at it objectively rather than taking it all the way very personally, as if they control the sea. No matter how much prepared you are, even then you could die at the sea. You could die on the road. You could die while flying. You could die having food in your hostel. The flight that went into the medical hostel in India. Right? You could die anywhere. So fear taking what you get out of that social conditioning, how you perceive it, depends upon individual vrittis. It can't be a blanket statement. I have met lot of people, those who have dealt with really serious natural disasters. They are either living in the earthquake prone regions in Indonesia, where there is an earthquake, then there is a volcano. And same, the Japanese people met so many, they are living under living volcanoes and things like that. And every time there is an earthquake, there is tsunami, there is something else. So they are constantly dealing with it, and they have the capacity and capability to live in any other country, yet they choose to live there. They just keep making their ways of thinking that, okay, instead of being scared of it and running away someplace else, they will always come up with solutions as to, okay, what can I do better for next time? Don't be inside the building, don't be here, don't be there, don't do this, don't do that when the earthquake is happening. So there are safety measures, precautions. So same thing with all kinds of accidents on the road. I've seen people who have had the car accidents, bike accidents. Some of them never touched the car or the drive again. Some of them never rode their bikes again. But some of them, even despite the fact that one of the guy I met, he was like 24, 25 something. He lost one leg, right leg, below the knee. He lost it here in Australia. It was a bad bike accident. He got up, got a prosthetic leg. It took him 1.5, 2 years to come out of all kinds of surgeries and operations. He's back again on the bike. And then he decided, okay, this was my stupidity I did. There are certain things which will keep me safe while riding my bike. So he became a much better human being as a result, much safe player on the road rather than driving rash. So who you become when you meet failures, or the idea of failure is being fed into your head, who you become depends particularly on the mind makeup that you have, the patterns that you have with him. So not everybody becomes fearful.
So, in the name of tolerance, a lot of things happen. Like people start repressing who they are or what they are, and just to be like a good mother or a good husband or whatever. They kind of start losing their identities, and they start accepting things that they would have otherwise not, just because they. And I've seen this more in like the Eastern countries than in the West. So would you like to talk more about that?
What is the problem with this?
The problem is that you no longer are who you are. You become something else.
So then definitely if this is happening, then definitely a life condition might have changed. You might have stepped into a different role, different area of your life, different situations of life, where other people are expecting something from you. They want you to be accountable for something, be responsible for something. So that is one way of looking at it. Okay. And out of obligations, out of playing out the other people's expectations, you behave in a certain way. And I think that is how it should be. When you become a mother, you behave like a mother to your child. You can't behave in any other way to your child. You have to be the mother when you are a mother. If you are a father, you have to behave in a certain way to your children. If you are a teacher, there is an expectation in the class. If you are a chemistry teacher, you have to be teaching chemistry, knowing chemistry, preparing the class and questions about chemistry. You suddenly one day you cannot just come on to the topic of biology or mathematics for that matter until it's related to your chemistry. So, certain expectations in a particular role and particular area of life. If you are in a situation, say for example, you are in an accident, and say for example, a flight is going, okay? There is a doctor on the flight. Somebody is getting a heart attack. Wouldn't you expect that doctor to behave like a doctor in that moment? and not be a normal passenger.
But again, I'm not like talking about only the roads. Like, okay, you have to do your duties and all that. But what happens is that sometimes you just suck up a lot of things that come along with, like,
Because you
which
are
you
getting
don't.
something out of it. You are deriving some sort of pleasure out of it. Some sort of sukha is coming because of all that. Or even that sukha could be because of that it could be because that you are not you don't want to piss off somebody. You do not want to have confrontations in your life. You don't want to confront somebody. So you are just saying things that would please the other person. Being a people pleaser kind of a person. So just think about it. What is a people pleaser most scared about? What are they actually fearful about?
People.
Confrontations, not people. They are fine till the time somebody is giving them nice words, nice sentences. They feel good about themselves. When somebody starts challenging them and telling them, you did this, you did not do this, or you are a person like that, you are a person like this, that is when, yeah, they are challenging you, they are confronting you. And instead of answering it in a logical, rational way, being very objective about it, you just simply become emotional and you close. You are emotional and you close. You don't feel like answering. You just want to run away from there. So that fear comes from what? Where did that fear came from? What max could happen? Relationship may break. What max could happen? That person may get angry. What max could happen? That is what these people are avoiding. Even though it may not happen. It's just an imagination that this could happen or that could happen. Still, they just go on bearing it, go on bearing it. So, yeah, there's no point.
Very interesting, your answers. They are not at all what I thought they would be.
Yeah, and it's not never about identities. Forget about identities. It's simply about fear of confrontation. Even if you are right, you know that in your heart. Still, you do not want to confront that person because the end result or whatever it is that you are fearing or imagining in your mind, you do not want that to happen. Most of the time it's separation. Most of the time it's something, losing someone or something.
Shall we talk a little bit about how Adhyatma in general has become very ritualistic in India? Like this has to be done in this way, and you have to worship in this way.
Too
This
much
puja.
technique oriented. Too much
It
technique oriented.
makes the younger generation not want to do it at all.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
what advice would you give the younger generation? I understand that people who are doing these things, we can say, okay, don't do this, that. But what is the advice we can give younger people who are getting this constant input?
Well, to lazy young people, I have no advice.
Genuine, like,
All they need is just good spanking. Just kick on their butt, which their life will eventually. They will get it from the life.
no, I see a lot of intelligent young people who
Ha,
really
with the
do.
intelligent young people, I never give anything that is very ritualistic in nature. Now I'm going to give you a crazy example. See, and I explain this to a lot of people that what is artillery firing?
You can explain it a little.
Artillery firing that happens on the border, countries' borders, Whenever there is a war going on, artillery firing is where you just have a one big gun and lots of bullets loaded into it, and you go tuck 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 tuck, and you are not aiming, you are just targeting that entire area that is there in front of the. You're not specifically targeting something, just going around in the entire, covering the entire range of area. That's how rituals are, which people are doing mostly these days, especially when it is about spirituality, adhyatma. There is no ritual in adhyatma. The only ritual is that there should never be a ritual. Why? Because when we say, think of this as, suppose if I tell somebody, go chant mantra, go chant this mantra. If I initiate them and give them a mantra, and their first question with me is, how many times do I have to chant? Okay. So now they are in essentially what they are asking, how many bullets I load into how big should be my magazine of bullets that I load into my artillery gun. Okay, that is what they are asking. Second question, so for how many minutes I need to do it? Again, you're again asking, obviously if a mantra in one breath may take you 10 seconds, you can see in how many minutes, in 21 minutes you can do. So I will just simply calculate and give you again, but again it's all about artillery firing. Okay, so people are worried about the time, people are worried about the number of counts, and in order to maintain the count, they ask me, do they need a mala? Do they need to count on finger? If you give them a time, they try to put the timer on their mobile. None of these things will ever work. Why? These are all artillery firing. Instead, I tell people, forget about how much time or forget about the count. Okay? If I am giving you a Panchakshari mantra is where it has 5 syllables, 5 sounds. So, Om Namah Shivaya is Panchakshari mantra. So, if this is Panchakshari, Panch means 5, I want you to chant it just 5 times, okay? And I don't care how much time you take, but every time you chant it, it should be like a sniper shooting. A sniper people carry hardly 1 or 2 or 5 bullets. That is it. They know 1 bullet, 1 enemy. And every time they have to hit a target. That's the condition of being a sniper. You cannot miss the target. And your target is very, very, very far away. Unlike artillery firing. The range of sniper guns is very far away. They have a telescope in them. Artillery gun may not have a telescope with it because there is no specific target. So be very focused. Your focus should be on your Agnya Chakra. For example, for Panchakshari Om Namah Shivaya, if I have told you that your focus should be here, then first learn to say Om Namah Shivaya without losing consciousness, without losing the dhyana from that mantra. And can you do this just 5 times without losing dhyana? Now you may say it once and then go on breathing for 5 minutes because you are shaken up. You lose your focus. Again, breathe, come back, take an aim. Take an aim for a long time when you are really sure, yes, I got it here. Then say that mantra. If every chant of yours is really hitting the target, you only need to chant it 5 times. That's it. It may take you an hour to say those 5 times, to chant it 5 times. It may take you 5 minutes someday. There will come a time when it might be just a 5-second thing for you. When you practice a sniper shooting, all the 5 bullets start going from one hole, the first hole, that too bullseye. That day you become the mantra. You never chant it again. Pick up something else. Change sadhana. Do something else. So there is nothing ritualistic about this practice. It's all about, you see, when somebody is taking an aim, whether they learn to shoot an arrow or they learn to shoot rifles or guns, anything. Whenever they are taking an aim, they are actually holding their breath. It's a kumbhak. Nobody can shoot by breathing like this. Can you shoot? Can you take an aim at anything? No. It comes from that kumbhak. It comes from that hold of breath. Only on the hold. Now, because mantra has to be through your voice, you are exhaling actually while saying the mantra. But you have to hold and be very still. You shouldn't lose the aim when you say it. So every sadhana, every spiritual practice is tied to your breath actually. Tied to the prana that you are. Is tied to the consciousness that you are. Are you really making your practices, your sadhana, about consciousness and about prana? Or are they about mobile, timer on mobile, or some beads in a mala, or something else? What is it? What is it? So sadhana has to be implemented via the prana. The count is always of prana and hold of breath and the extreme focus.
That's beautiful, Ma. It's like a sniper kind of answer.
People will think I'm giving examples like that, but these days a lot of wars are happening and people are watching all the, war in Ukraine. Sad thing, but people understand the terminology of snipers, artillery, that is what is going on. Missiles, targeted missiles, you see, BrahMos.
I mean, jokes apart, I think that was a great example. And thank you for explaining that. I will come back with more questions again.
Thank you, Yogini ji. Thank you so much. So, if you like it, please share it, subscribe, and comment it, and let us know your feedback, and also let us know all the questions that you may have. So, Yogini ji will pick up those questions. Namaste. Jai Shiva.